Residents along the coast of southwest Florida continue seeing massive fish kills caused by red tide.
But now many are raising alarm and asking if something else might be at fault for this devastation. ABC 7's Kate Flexter joins us live along the Sarasota Bayfront tonight with more on the story. Kate?
Good evening, Haley and Scott. I spent the day out on the water, and I can tell you this devastation is vast, stretching at least a mile offshore.
Onshore, the devastation is visible. But a trip offshore and it becomes clear how vast it is. Fish floating farther than the eye can see and stretching from the northernmost point of Anna Maria Island 20 miles south to Venice.
It's not just here, it's for miles upon miles upon miles.
Brock Horner has lived in Florida for his entire life and has been through many a red tide, but he says none like this.
I've been religiously on the water for 20 plus years, and I've never seen anything this catastrophic.
That's why he believes it could be related to recent sewage dumping during Hurricane Hermine, when St. Pete alone dumped 136 million gallons of partially treated raw sewage mixed with rainwater into Tampa Bay.
And we're talking millions and millions and millions of gallons of raw sewage dumped into these estuaries in the last few weeks. I'm not showing any symptoms of the red tide algae bloom, so that leads me to believe that it's something completely different.
We asked Mote marine scientists if there's a potential link between higher levels of red tide algae and sewage.
The red tide bloom is very unlikely associated with any kind of sewage dumps at all.
But scientists did acknowledge that adding nutrients to an existing bloom could potentially increase red tide levels.
Nutrients in water from, say, sewage doesn't initiate a bloom. It will not be responsible for bloom initiation. However, if there is a bloom close enough to shore to use that nutrients coming off the surface, then the bloom can actually sustain and prolong duration.
Whatever the cause, though, Horner worries about the implications and the Gulf's ability to recover.
This ecosystem can't sustain a blow that large and expect to sustain itself.
Again, there's no proof of a connection between that sewage dump and this red tide. In the meantime, FWC is investigating those fish kills and taking water samples. Live in Sarasota, Kate Flexter, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.